Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I am a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and just people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting with Nate Pharmer-Eden. He is the owner of Eden Capital, helping individuals passively invest in real estate. How you doing today, Nate?
Hey, Anthony, I'm doing well, brother, man. I appreciate you having me here.
No, I was excited to talk to you again. I liked our first conversation. You're just, we had a lot in common, and I was really excited about your, what you're doing, your personality. I think more people need to know you. So any way I can help with that. You mentioned you're in a bit of a snowstorm.
Yeah, it's starting to come down. First snow here. I'm based in Wisconsin. Madison, more specifically, is where my office is at. And I woke up and it was all white everywhere on the ground. I'm like, I guess here we go. It's that time of the year again.
Yeah, yeah, we got a little bit of it yesterday, just spitting. Nothing stuck. It's all gone now, but it seems like you guys are getting a little bit more. So, yeah, so it begins. But anyway,
We're
so
okay to pass it along. If you guys want it back, take it.
you know what? I'm not gonna take you up on that offer. You can keep it. So so Wisconsin, are you from the area originally? You're new there, or
Great question. So I was actually born in Haiti, Port-au-Prince, and I was adopted at the age of 2 months old. And then roughly ever since around the age like 1 or 2, Madison, Wisconsin. So I went through all the primary and preliminary schools all the way up, and then UW-Whitewater for undergraduate.
okay, you're basically a native. It's your
Yeah.
whole yeah. I got it. Awesome. So what's fun in Wisconsin? I've never made it up into Wisconsin. I've been close, but never made it all the way into it. So what do you recommend somebody do when it's not snowstorming?
Well, it's not snowstorming. Now you've got to visit Culver's, the restaurant. We love Culver's. We got the cheese curds, the cheese state. So come through, enjoy that. If you're into sports, some folks say they love the Packers. So if you can get to a Packers game out this way, awesome. I am not a Packers fan myself, but if you like that stuff, come on in.
Yeah, no, we got the Culver's here in Iowa too. So we got the what are they? The paint mixer for the ice cream, and then they have the
There it
butter
is.
burger. Yeah, it's good stuff. I like their diet root beer. That's a treat of mine. So yeah,
There it is. I love it.
so awesome, awesome. So what can you tell us about your business? You own Eden, what is it, Eden Capital?
Correct. Yeah. Eden Capital. So we're a syndication firm. Long and short of it is we like to help folks make double digit returns backed by real estate. We're into passively investing. So typically with a syndication, you'll have two different sides. You'll have the GP, which is general partners. Those are the folks that are going to be doing more of the boots on the ground, day to day operational standpoint. And then you've got LPs, your limited partners or passive investors, as they're sometimes referred to as. And what we do is we come together, both sides, we form an LLC or a company, and that company then purchases an asset. And syndication, it's been around for about 20 plus years. And you can have syndications in all different facets of picking up commercial real estate. We primarily focus on multifamily value add strategies, and we invest in the Carolinas.
Okay, how'd you get started in that?
Great question. So my journey really began back in 2014 when I picked up a role. For those that don't know, those that might not know my backstory, I'm a social worker by trade with a master's degree in organizational leadership and administration. The long and the short of it was I got an opportunity to work in Madison, Wisconsin for a developer who had acquired 254 units in Madison, and it came with 81 more units in Fitchburg. And basically, the long and the short of that was they needed somebody that was going to be in between property management and tenant relations. So what I did was I did a needs analysis and assessment back in 2014. I met with every resident we had, roughly about 1,000 residents. We did it in one of the vacant units. I had 3 meetings a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. And sat down. I told them a couple of things. The first thing is I can look at you and I can tell you what I feel as though you might need, but two things are going to happen. One, you're never going to show up to my programming. And two, this will probably be our last conversation. So let's not do that. Let's speed past it. How about you let me know what it is that you feel that you need? And it's my job, my duty, my obligation to go out and find different organizations and agencies to bring everything in house to help with personal growth and development. To this day, what that looks like is we've got after school programs, we've got credit repair, financial education, business classes, computer classes, a plethora of different things. In fact, this picture right behind me is Madison Police Department coming out, working with our community to be able to help out and take the kids out to our soccer field and play kickball. We're doing a ton of different things, and I love it. I've been here over a decade. But to answer your question, what ended up happening is I realized very quickly, probably around 2016, early 2017, that there was something that separated me from those that were acquiring assets. Those that were acquiring assets, they had ownership. I did not. I was boots on the ground, no skin in the game, no stake to hold. So I really had an interest in trying to figure out how I can get over to the ownership side. So in 2017, what we did was my fiance and I, we separated our addresses. We bought the single family house that we live in to this day. House hacked my first duplex. Now, for those that are listening, those that are out there, house hacking is a powerful tool. I strongly suggest it, but I want to make sure that I emphasize this piece to it. Make sure that you find yourself some type of mentor, coach, or any type of guidance. I did not do any of that. I thought I had it down, lost tens of thousands of dollars just because I did not understand the whole process and procedure and the value of having systems set in place. I did all of the cardinal rules wrong, including moving family in, including bringing in close friends, and it just went sideways. Heck, we didn't even get a whole calendar year on the lease done before I had a ton of issues, I should say. So, long and short of it was, I saw the value in it. I was able to experience what appreciation was, and I was able to taste a little bit of what cash flow was. And I'm like, this is awesome. And I'm like, I want to figure out how I can get to do more of this. I want to add more to my portfolio. So from the duplex, we expanded, we grabbed another single family house. From there, we get another duplex, and I learned the BRRRR strategy. Shout out to Nate Barger, who's one of my mentors and my coaches. Shout out to Jirius, Mike Ely, handful of mentors. But the problem was at that point is my fiance was working her W-2. I'm working my W-2. We have two kids. We're like, look, best case scenario, whether it's fix and flip, wholesale, doesn't matter, turnkey, we could probably only do 2 to 3 of these a year. And I wanted to scale much faster. So I'm like, how can we get into the side of commercial real estate where for just about the same amount of effort, the same amount of time, instead of closing on one roof with, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 doors, we close on one property and we have multiple economies of scale. So that's how Eden Capital was formed. So just give you that was kind of my long answer to a short question.
No, that's awesome. I think people need to hear the full thing because, like you said, there's a lot of cardinal rules that they don't know going in. Get coaching. People have been there. They've heard learned those lessons, so you don't have to. So awesome. Just to kind of go right into that. What's something that you would do different today if you had to start over? Outside of the moving and family, dealing with close friends. What's somebody wanting to get to where you are? What is a couple of those rules that they need to follow?
Yeah. So number one, of course, get around real estate investors. Find yourself a coach, find yourself a mentor. On top of that, ask questions. You can find real estate investors depending upon where you are within your market. Look up different kinds of real estate associations. Look up if you're somebody that prefers to maybe not be in person, there's different meetups that you can go to online as well. Connecting with that industry and seeing and hearing the stories does a handful of different things for you. One, it puts you inside of the environment to hear and learn from the stories of people that came before you and some of the stuff that you might have questions on how to navigate to. But also, it gives some type of form and credibility to you as well as an investor. If you're just getting started, whether you have one door, no doors, or 100 doors, putting yourself in that kind of environment allows people to be able to look at you as that go-to person. And also, the other big piece to this, didn't understand it at first. Real estate's a team sport. When I initially got started, I thought it was a me, I. I'll tell you an example. When I first bought my duplex, and this is something they don't tell you, you sign your name on the dotted line, you're at closing, woohoo, you made it, it's yours. What they don't tell you is that means you become property owner, the landlord, the electrician, the plumber, everything. All of that becomes on you, or you need to figure out how to go ahead and navigate and find somebody else to work with you to solve those issues. And again, I thought it was a me, I failed miserably. I do not want that for anybody else that's out there. Real estate's a team sport. It's about we, it's about us. We can go much further, much faster, much farther when we work together. So to bring it back to the other point, when you're getting inside of those kind of networking events or environments through meetups, or rather be online, virtually, or rather be in person, doesn't matter. It allows you to be able to establish that network and be able to start building that team. Again, doesn't matter if you've taken that first step off the front porch or if you haven't yet, you're just thinking about getting into real estate. Build yourself a team. Support system is key. Again, coaches, mentors, figure out about how to find lenders, how to find brokers, how to find agents, folks that are really going to ride for you, that are going to be in your corner. And then the next piece to that is think about it from this perspective. Create win-win situations, ways that you can be able to add value and ways that you can also figure out how you can create and structure so that you can also win from the transaction. This goes from anywhere from a normal partnership, a business standpoint, somebody that's going to partner with you, to an acquisition, to maybe somebody that potentially might need to sell. Talk to them, get to know them. Real estate's all about making that connection, establishing that relationship, and then seeing how you can overcome adversities together and then making it to the next step.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it definitely highlights that, if you're looking at getting into it, talk to somebody that's been through it. There's a lot there. You don't know what you don't know. There's a cheat code, and it's dealing with people that have done it already. So what's your favorite thing about what you're doing?
Great question. I think my favorite piece to this is that it's kind of twofold. One is the relationships that I've been able to build, the partnerships that I've been able to form. And then the second piece to that is the families, the individuals, the different companies and agencies that I've been able to help. From an Eden Capital standpoint, those that have entrusted us, those that got to know us, like us, and trusted us with some of their capital to be able to inject it into our deals, they're doing so because they've grown that bond with us, and it means the world to me. So I thank them consistently for being able to instill that into us, but also to be able to see the reactions when we're able to hit our milestones, hit our benchmarks, and then return on capital. We always have two objectives. Number one is to preserve investor capital. The number two is to grow it. And so, again, for the couple of reasons that I really enjoy what I'm doing and what I love doing is making relationships, forming them, actually nurturing them, and then being able to help and give back. Everybody deserves financial freedom. Everybody deserves to be able to create that legacy for themselves, for their family, for their loved ones. And that's what we're all about.
Okay. What's the through line with the people that you're able to help? People that, could really benefit from what you're doing. What does that look like?
Yeah, so it can range anywhere from folks that are busy business professionals that would like to just get into real estate, or maybe have heard through the grapevine that, let's say, 90% of those in the population that have become millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires have done so through real estate through some facet or another. Um, those that would like to be able to inject money into deals but might not have the time or might not have the knowledge base to be able to say, hey, I want to try to learn this or learn this new asset class or learn this new field. How can we do so? Those are our target avatars. Those that would be like, hey, I want the benefits, but I don't have the time for tenants to toss the trash. Leave it up to us. We've got it. We're vertically integrated also, which means we own a property management company, we own a construction company. So what would cost other firms, $25,000 a unit to do, we typically can do sub 13 just because of the network that we've had, and then our extensive time that we've had within the field of real estate. So it gives us kind of a competitive edge.
Okay. And then how about power partners? What are people in other industries that might synergize well with what you're doing?
It's a great question. Tax strategists are amazing. They're great referral partners. Anybody that's in the accounting profession, anyone that is in thinking of, like, there's so many different fields that mesh and synergize well with everything that we've got going on. So in all honesty, it's going to sound very cliche, but everybody comes from all walks of life, and I believe everybody has a chance or should have a chance to be able to get into real estate in some capacity. So I don't want anyone to feel as though that they're limited because of whatever their background may be, or whatever profession that they're in. So I would say, no matter where you're at, reach out. We don't work with just any and everybody, but we would like to get to know everybody and see if it'd be a good fit to partner. So we never want to cut anybody out. So come on down. Let's try to figure out a win-win strategy and let's work together.
Okay. Awesome. And every one of those people, they're going to have the same question. It's going to be, how do I get into real estate?
That is an amazing question. So there's a couple of different answers to that one, right? Depending upon if you, the very first thing you want to ask yourself is, do you want to be active or do you want to be passive? Getting into real estate could mean a couple of different things. From a passive side, it could mean I just want to diversify my portfolio and I want to invest into real estate, but I don't want to spend 24/7 or 28/8, depending upon how you want to look at it, right? Into trying to deal with all of the headaches of, again, the tenants, the toilets, the trash. That's one facet. Then you got the active side. Folks that were just like me, in my younger years when I was like, I want to own, I want to see what it's like, I want to kind of jump off the porch, go head first. And in that instance, using house hack method is a great resource, and creative financing strategies is amazing. But it all really falls back on, if you're going to go that route, you're going to go the active route. Remember kind of what we talked about a little bit earlier. And don't be the me, I, be the we, be the problem solver, be somebody that's there to try to help and bring solutions. So with that, I mean, start establishing now those relationships. Those relationships, again, with construction folks, with brokers, with agents, with insurance, with title, all those things plus more. Now is the time to be able to start establishing those, even before you get your first deal or before you get something under contract.
Okay. Is there anything that we missed? I failed to ask that maybe you wanted to add to it?
Great question. I think the biggest thing is, if you're interested in getting into real estate, and if you have not yet done so and you want to take more of an active role, myself and my business partners, we're mentors, we're coaches. I'm going to provide the link, but we have what we call Forge Academy. Forge Academy is a one-stop shop for all your real estate needs. It's going to be Forge, REI, Academy.com. Check us out. We also are helping with business professionals that would like to be able to expand through email lists, learning how to hire a VA, a plethora of different things that we've learned and we've created SOPs for. And so if you would like to be able to sort of dive in a bit, check us out.
Okay. Is that the best way everybody get a hold of you is through Forge Academy then?
So that's just another facet of things that we do. That's another tool in our toolbox for real estate. Best way to get a hold of me, if you're on social media, check me out. It's Real Estate Nate 88. So Real Estate Nate 88 on just about all social media platforms. LinkedIn is Nate Pharmer-Eden. Same thing for Facebook, Eden Capital if you're looking for groups. So best way to reach out to me. Email address is nate@investedencapital.com and investedencapital.com for the website.
Awesome. And don't feel like you guys have to go write that down. I'll have it in the description. It's clickable. We're not going to hide it. So you can get a hold of Nate. Super easy. Last thing I want you to do is fumble around looking for it. So perfect. If anybody would like to get in touch with Nate, please do. He is a wealth of knowledge and his energy is infectious. So you should absolutely have a conversation with him. If you've ever thought, how do I get into real estate? It's worth looking into. Like you said, worst case, you leave with more information and you kind of go along your way. But definitely somebody that you're going to want to connect with if you're in the real estate world. But if anybody else out there would like to be interviewed, feel free to reach out to me as well. If you'd like a three-way introduction to Nate and you're a little bit more shy, ask me. I'm more than happy to do that as well. Other than that, like I said, all of his socials are going to be down there along with my link tree. So feel free to reach out to me and or him. But other than that, Nate, I really appreciate you coming on. It's always a pleasure talking with you. And I look forward to talking more in the future. And I recommend everybody else listening to this do the same. But other than that, let's all get out there and meet some more people. All right.
1,000%. Anthony, thank you so much for having me on the show. This is amazing. I know a guy. Check him out. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Take care.